Hey, what's up, you guys? I call myself Joshua Stonecutter on the internet. That's not my real name. Welcome to Conspiracy in Real Time. I'm trying to get to my notes here, where I bring you intel from the underground SS and I tell you about my real life experiences. Today, we're just going to talk about one thing. So it'll be easy for me to stay on topic, I guess. But before I get started, please go ahead and subscribe to my channel, and please like this video too. They definitely shadow ban me. It like this is such a weird subject to talk about, you guys, because I know that it's happening. I'm 100% sure that it's going on. Okay, like if you found my video, congratulations. If you found this video, congratulations. I need help. I need your help. Um, I need you to share these videos on your social media, do whatever you can to help. The purpose of this is to help other people and to spread awareness, okay? That's the purpose of it. So let's talk about where we're at. This is Crescent Beach, Florida, and it's just north of Daytona. I grew up coming here, and the first time, well, I don't want to get into all that. I had a lot of first time experiences on this beach. My friend, my old friend Joel, and we used to skip school, and he had one of those conversion vans with the TV in it and everything, and so we would get some beers, usually a little bit of beer, but we would get a lot of weed, and then we would drive over here to the beach. I mean, we'd park right about where I am right now, and we would listen to Bob Marley and dance around on the beach and get in the ocean and just, you know, we had a great time. It was a lot of fun. One of my first memories as a child was on this beach. So, my introduction to gangstalking. I had never heard of the term before, okay? I decided that I needed help because I was horribly addicted to opiates. So I went to detox. I had insurance. The detox facility pretended like they couldn't find me a place to go to. And then after they kept me there for like 15 days, they said, we have a place. This representative came in from the Phoenix house. She told me all about it. They had like a swimming pool. They had all this stuff. None of that stuff was true. It was all lies. They did have all those things. It just wasn't operational when I got there. So anyways, before I left the Phoenix house, they wanted me to go to Ocala. They wanted me to move to Ocala, Florida. And I said, this experience has been really good and I value it. I just don't want to move to Ocala, send me to any city. Like, I was like, send me anywhere. I was like, send me anywhere in America. Just don't send me to Ocala. And the reason was, I always had just a bad feeling about Ocala. I always just didn't like that town. And I grew up in Gainesville, the next town over. So we always made fun of Ocala. You know what I'm saying? It was like the town that you make fun of, sort of. The smaller town over. Oh, those Ocala girls or whatever. Just making jokes, right? But seriously though, if you met a girl from Ocala in Gainesville, you knew that she was there to like party and have a good time, because like she made the she made the effort. You know what I'm saying? Like, she made the effort to drive the 45 minutes to come up to Gainesville. So usually when you met girls from Ocala in Gainesville, like they were there to party. Anyways, so this guy Mike G and the director of the Phoenix house and my counselor, they coerced me into and talked me into moving to Ocala. I remember Mike G saying, "You're getting ready to help a whole lot of people." That's what he said, because he knows how much I like to help people, And so they used that and they preyed on that in the Phoenix house, and they used that as a tool to get me to go to Ocala. Anyways, so I moved to Ocala. I go to a halfway house. I relapsed in the halfway house. Then I moved in with my buddy Jeff. then I start working at this place called Antiphone, right? And I meet this girl there named Jessica. They slowly introduced me to her. They had our schedules overlapped by just a half hour, right? So like I would see her for a half hour every day, like at the end of my shift and at the beginning of her shift, um, and we just got to be friends. I thought she was kind of cute, you know what I'm saying, and I thought she was real funny. In hindsight, what she did, you guys, was she pammed me from that show, The Office. She pammed me because like they have this way of like knowing all this stuff about you. I think it's they just get fed intel from other people. I think is mostly what it is. We think it's all this spying on the phone and they can read our thoughts and all this stuff, you guys. Nope, that's not what's happening. This is just simple spying. It's one person telling another person, this is what Josh likes, this is what Josh doesn't like, and somehow they're categorizing it all, or they're keeping track of it all in some place. They probably have like an overlay for Facebook or something that's combined with like facial recognition or something. I mean, all this stuff I'm talking about is very, very easy to do. Okay, this isn't science fiction. And if anybody's younger watching this, they know all this stuff. Okay, I believe what they have is they have some kind of overlay program. It's where, and I'm just making these terms up, but they basically have a program that like would sit on top of Facebook or is just like Facebook, right? And you can look up people's info, but it'll give you all their stats. So if you look me up, it'll say, oh, boom, raised in a Christian household, mentally abused and neglected by his family, possibly sexually abused as a child. You know what I'm saying? Like all this stuff. And so any girl that meets me who is in the SS or who is into this witchcraft stuff, who is privy to this information, comes at me or comes at any TI or any neighbor or anybody experiencing this stuff, knowing. You ever have somebody come talk to you and it's like they know you already? Well, if you pay close attention, some of these people do know you already, okay? And they'll slip up. A guy slipped up the other day when I went to get my passport. I said, well, I do petitions and stuff. And he goes, oh, okay, yeah, I remember now. And I'm thinking, you remember now? What do you remember now? Now, here's the thing worth mentioning. This guy works at the local library where I live. He's an ex-military guy. These are the people that I constantly find myself engaging with, who are constantly trying to engage with me. So it looks like after you're done with serving in the military, they give you options to say like, look, there's domestic stuff going on. You know what I'm saying? And you can like have a job as a librarian and serve your country at the same time. So like the lines get really blurred with gang stalking between like your neighbors, your friends, your local librarian, you know. But that was the local librarian slipped up the other day and goes, "Oh yeah, I remember now." And I'm thinking, sitting there thinking, like, "You remember what now?" Like, and it was totally like, to me, it was so obvious. It was like, "Oh, right." And I didn't feel like calling him out on it. It happened with a guy that lives like 4 blocks from me. I walked by his house on the way to the beach, and I was talking to him one morning, and he said, "Well, I like to travel around a lot, like you." But it was the first time I ever spoke with this guy. I had no idea who he was. And he'd never seen my vehicle. He knows nothing about me. And yet, just he knows that from me walking back and forth to the beach that I like to travel all around and stuff. Because we were talking about his Aerostream and everything. So these people, they slip up. They know who I am. It's the weirdest thing, you guys. It's like, it's as if I'm a celebrity and they all like want to acknowledge the fact that they've seen me. But they also strongly dislike me. The point of all this is to drive me insane or have me kill myself, like my friend Nathan did. My good friend Nathan was a victim of this stuff. I believe he was. We grew up going to the same church. I went to his funeral, you guys. I went to his funeral in Indiana. I tried to contact the pastor who read the sermon or read the passages at his funeral because I wanted to ask him why he was reading stuff about witchcraft out of the Bible at my friend's funeral, right? And he didn't want to talk about it, and he ended up hanging up the phone on me. They're raising this is what I believe happened to me. I think my parents, they've raised me to be like a living sacrifice to all the Luciferians out there, to be used and abused. It explains what I'm getting ready to tell you about. Jessica B. This girl basically I fell for her. You know what I'm saying? She didn't do anything. I fell for her. She was cute. She was funny. I moved in with her, right? And her boyfriend, who she was living with at the time, moved out. So her boyfriend moved out, who she'd been with for years. They broke up. He moved out, and then I moved into this house. There were little figurine owls everywhere, you guys. She had like over 100 little owls, right? She's obsessed with them. An owl is um, it's a very important symbol for the occult and for the Freemasons. She was the one who told me about gang stalking. Oh, you've never heard of gang stalking? Oh yeah, it's when people think there's people following them around and blah 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 blah. That's interesting. She would also do, I believe that she was recording me at the time, or live airing the stuff with me. She would do stuff like on National Pizza Day. She was like, do you like pizza, Josh? I remember her saying, do you like pizza? Do you like pizza? And the way she was looking at me, it was like she was like insane or something. And I thought she was joking around, like just clowning around. Like, do you like pizza? Now I know all the PED connections with pizza and everything. You know, you see it as my avatar, right? Which, where that photo came from, that came from social media. That's on a hotel's website. Okay, my avatar. That's a whole nother story. I'm trespassed from that hotel, by the way. But so she started talking to me about gang stalking. She was the one that introduced this whole idea to me. She's nowhere to be found today, by the way. I have no idea where she is. She was a succubus, like a straight up witch, right? She was slowly introduced to me through work, right? And also at work there was this lady named Pam, the cleaning lady, who also was like, "Oh yeah, there's people up in the trees watching me." And Jessica tried to make me think that Pam was experiencing what she thought was gang stalking. Like Pam thought she was being gang stalked. Now, I don't know if Pam believed that or not, or if Pam was just another fake TI, because they keep putting fake targeted individuals after fake targeted individuals in front of me over and over and over again. It's like all I get hit with is fake ones. Okay. Jessica also claimed that she was being blackmailed. And while I was there, her boyfriend did some gang stalker stuff. He came over to the house and was spying on me through the laundry window, right? Now, this is kind of a gruesome story. I was relapsing in there and I was like doing something I shouldn't have been doing, right? And he saw me and he like freaked out. I could hear him out there talking. There was another night where him and her, I was in the bathroom, and Jessica and her ex-boyfriend, he was in the backyard talking to her through the window. Talking to her through the window, man. It was so weird. Some other mentionable, this is all after the Phoenix house. And of course I was coerced to go to this town. All this was set up for me, right? These women, they were supposed to destroy me. You know what I'm saying? The purpose of me dating these women was so that I would relapse and or become severely depressed and maybe do something horrible. Keep in mind that every day that the Phoenix house took us to an AA meeting, they drove us directly by John Travolta's house. And it's worth mentioning that John Travolta has a house about a mile or two from the Phoenix house. I don't know what they're doing with those kids, with those boys, but it ain't right. Something's going on. Then I started doing the petitions, and along came Kathy. It was when I was dating Kathy that there was this one day when not everybody, there was this one morning in St. Pete where we had a large amount of people pointing their cell phones at us, like blatantly taping us, right? Kathy even screamed at one of them, but then claimed later she didn't know what I was talking about. But it was that day in St. Pete. It was that day in St. Pete. I woke up early in the morning, and when I left my house, I knew something wasn't right. There was a couple cars on our road that had never been there, and as soon as I started driving away, like 2 cars started up and started following us. I thought that was weird. Then when we got to the gas station, because I thought we were being followed. Then when we get to the gas station, people are pointing their cell phones at me. And inside the gas station, there was like 3 people who all had their cell phones sticking up out of their pockets with the camera pointed out. And they were all making an effort to point them at me. That was the very first time that I was like, something isn't right here. Like this, like I'm not imagining this, you know? But this is at the time, I didn't have a Twitter. I didn't have a TikTok account. I didn't have a YouTube channel. I wasn't interested in like posting this stuff because it just sounded totally insane and I didn't know what was going on. I had just started dating Kathy. You know what I mean? I didn't know if it was like people in one of these weird like sex cults that she was in, like doing some weird kind of sex game. You know what I mean? Like maybe this is some weird swinger thing from St. Pete that I don't know about. Maybe they're taping Kathy and they're not taping me. Maybe, you know, I had 1,000 questions, right? And after we moved back to we moved to Umatilla from St. Pete, because I was traveling around doing petitions. I realized I put the connections together. I put something together about the stuff Jessica had told me a while ago, and the term gangstalking came up in my mind, right? And so I found the gangstalking forum on Reddit, and I'm thinking to myself, okay, if anybody's gonna like understand what this is, understand what's going on, give me a reasonable explanation, it's gonna be the people on Reddit. You know what I mean? Like, all are welcome. You know what I'm saying? There's no judgments here. Well, I posted on the Gangstalking forum and Reddit, like real clear and concise, like, hey guys, like I just started dating this girl. Shortly after we started dating in St. Pete, I had people following us around, and now there's weird stuff going on with my phone. I think my phone's being hacked and stuff, which is something else I probably should talk about, but I could talk about the phone hacking stuff for an hour or two, you know, like specific stuff about both iPhones and Androids. And I'll do that on another episode. But, so I didn't pour my heart out on Reddit, but I was like, hey man, like this seems like gang stalking. Like, what is this? This is actually going on. Like, I'm not imagining this. And all that I got from people was just ridicule. Like, oh, you're crazy. You need to go see a doctor. There's something wrong with you. And I'm just immediately, my heart and my gut just told me something is very, very wrong here. Like, what is going on? You know? There was like one person, I think on Reddit, who reached out and was like, hey man, you're not going crazy. Like, I don't really know what else they said. I don't remember. But I do remember there was like one person who was like, yo man, you're not going nuts. You know what I mean? Like this stuff really is happening to some people out there. I'm sorry this is happening to you. But from what I've gathered, they use personal information about us and use it almost in real time against us. So like, if your spouse is involved in this, or if your cell phone's being hacked and they're trying to influence you, things will happen in traffic, things will happen with people that you run into at the grocery store. It will seem like a coincidence, but really it's not. Like, let's say your husband is in the SS and you don't know, right? And he's a complete narcissist. This is usually the case. Usually it's husbands, but sometimes it's wives, and sometimes it's both of them. What will happen is I just kind of lost my train of thought, but what will happen is one will know and the other one won't, you know? And so let's say the husband really wants the wife to go to Colorado, okay? But the wife wants to go to Oregon. So this is what happens. The wife overhears a phone conversation from the new girl at work who just started yesterday and she doesn't know her. And she's talking about how great her vacation was in Colorado. Wow, what a coincidence. And obviously that couldn't be staged because that girl just started working here and, you know. Then later on, you know, you're getting lunch at Subway and somebody in line in front of you who was in the store before you even walked in is talking about Colorado and how awesome Breckenridge is. Well, that couldn't be a coincidence because, you know, that person was there before I walked in. Do you see what I'm saying? And like, you know, I'm not being followed. Like, if anything, I followed them in here, right? Wrong. That's how this stuff works. And that is how they get you. If you're going to a church, if you're going to a Christian church, this stuff is happening to you, or you're one of the ones involved in it. The reason I can't get any help with this stuff is because there's so many people involved in it. And it looks like this country was founded on the snake and not founded on the good Lord. It says in our Constitution, nature's God. It doesn't say anything about the good Lord in the heavens or anything like that. Nature's God. Starts with an L. They're all Lucy's, bro. Look, you guys, sorry to call you bro. You all, bro. They're all Lucy's, you guys. They're either complacent in it, they're either totally complacent in it and they know what's going on, or they're actively involved. And up at the high levels, yeah, people are dying. Absolutely. I can feel it, man. I can feel it in my bones. They want me painted as crazy. They absolutely want me painted as crazy. Why would they want me painted as crazy? It's probably because they did some horrible things to me when I was a kid, and I don't remember any of them. That's the scary part. I'm starting to think that if something did happen to me when I was a kid, that means that they used drugs and anesthetized me. Do you see what I'm saying? And did who knows what. That would explain why I have like such a desire. Excuse me. That would explain why I have such a problem with substance abuse. I'm clean and sober now. I'm clean as sober as I'm gonna get. Okay. I'm a medical marijuana patient. I still have a little bit of caffeine in the morning, and I chew nicotine gum and have a nicotine vape. So, and I take ibuprofen. So that's it. But I used to be horribly addicted to opiates. The whole gambit, everything that goes along with that, everything but prostituting myself. There's still a lot more to talk about my introduction to Gangstalking, but Jessica and Kathy were honeypots. All right. I had a device installed in my Mustang that was used to, like, I think, monitor and track us. So one of the things I'll leave with this. One of the ways that they tell each other apart out in public when they're driving around is with one headlight. So I know some people just have a headlight smashed out on accident or whatever. Sometimes that's not on accident. And what you'll see on police cars is the little runner lights, the little orange lights down at the bottom. They'll just have one. They'll have one out on the front. So instead of two, they'll just have one. But yeah, you'll see it with a lot of nice new trucks. You'll see a truck. It's like, why does that truck only have one light on? It's weird. That's why. And you'll see them. Another tactic that they use is they drive with their brights on during the daytime, and also drive with their headlights on during the day. So those are. Just because somebody has their headlights on doesn't mean that they're in the SS. Just because somebody has one headlight on doesn't mean they're in the SS. But if somebody has, like my pastor, this is the pastor to my church, one headlight on his car, okay? Hacked cell phone, right? Or his cell phone wasn't up to date. He has a jailbroken iPhone, I believe. And in addition to that, he can't answer my questions about where our sister church is in Haiti. I grew up believing and being told that we had a sister church in Haiti. We don't have one. There's just some group in Haiti that, like, supposedly we give money to or something. It's so sketchy, you guys. And I don't know what they're doing to all these kids. I mean, I do know what they're doing to these kids, but, like, I can't even say it on this show. That's how horrible it is. Real talk. And that's why my old YouTube show got taken down, because I got a little too... I used the P word. I can't even drop the P word on here, the P-E-D word. I will not say it. And that's why I call them Lucy's instead of Lucifer. Lucifer. I don't want to... They will take my videos down for anything. If I mention, like, they might even take this down for, like, religious hate or something. I'm not even kidding, you guys. But I guarantee you this. All of my videos, they get flagged. People flag them and flag them as objectionable no matter what. I get targeted online like you wouldn't believe. So if I even have a YouTube channel that takes off, it'll be a miracle. And it'll be from me, tiptoeing around things and not, speaking my mind while not using all the words that I want to use, But, all right, you guys, I'm going to go ahead and peace out. I love all y'all. Have a good one.